A very good afternoon, participants and speaker of the day. This is the last session of the day as well as the faculty development program. Today we have speaker Professor Naveen B.R. is a decision scientist from fintech industry. Sir will going to speak on artificial intelligence and marketing. Sir, I welcome you on behalf of Department of Commerce, Davangere University, Davangere.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, we're going to focus on artificial intelligence and marketing. So before that, just I'll give a small description on the topic. Now, one of the best uses of artificial intelligence in marketing is that analyzing the competitors move to witness a strong sales and thus will get huge revenues. In addition, artificial intelligence helps marketers to find patterns that are likely to impact badly the future of marketing business. Using artificial intelligence, marketers can deliver highly targeted and personalized ads with the help of behavioral analysis, pattern recognition, etc. It also helps with the retargeting audience at the right time to ensure better results. Artificial intelligence can help with the content marketing, the brand style, as well as the voice. A resource person of the today's session, Dr. Naveen sir, further elaborate on this topic in a simple way. Before that, I request Professor Usha to welcome Dr. Naveen B.R. sir.
Usha? Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to 14th technical session, the last session of online FDP on applications of artificial intelligence in business. It's my privilege to introduce today's resource person, Dr. Naveen B.R. Sir. His qualification includes BE, MBA, PhD, along with UGC NET JRF certification in management. He completed his PhD in the field of quality management for services from the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. He was postdoctoral research fellow at the Indian Institute of Science. He is awarded with Lok Sabha Research Fellow from Parliament of India. He is a former campus ambassador at the United Nations. His research areas includes public system, public transport, sustainable livelihood, entrepreneurship, mobility, and smart cities, youth and women empowerment in decision-making platforms for sustainable governance. He has more than 10 years of experience, which includes research, IT, and data science industry. He is also a visiting faculty in some of the B schools in Bangalore. He has published research articles in peer-reviewed international journals and authors. Further, he has presented research works in national and international conferences. Welcome you, sir. Now I will hand over the session to Dr. Naveen B.R. sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. So this is a privilege for me to be here and discuss few things, what I've learned and what I know regarding marketing and also the advanced technology or the current trending technologies such as artificial intelligence and application of it in the marketing field. So I know by this time, so all of you are aware about about the artificial intelligence and its various applications and various aspects involved in artificial intelligence. So moving further, so as I told you, yes, already you know what exactly the artificial intelligence from the previous sessions and the mechanisms which are involved behind this artificial intelligence. So as we know, it is nothing but we are trying to make machines to think like humans or animals, right? And also we try to make machines to replicate or at least simulate the brain functions. So like these things are discussed, I guess, so in the previous sessions. So to put it in a simple words, just to ensure the continuity, we know that it is nothing but we are trying to make machines to think like humans and animals with the help of the data, right? Now, so what are the problems solved by AI? Yes, we know, like, a couple of aspects are already discussed. We have n number of problems which can be solved with the applications of AI, or which can add value to the systems, or which can add value to the applications. One of it is like arithmetic, where we use we can have this multivariate mathematics equations, where we can have a number of variables in order to come up with expressions or simulate the expressions for real-time applications or real-time problems. And next is sorting kind of problems, where we sort millions or billions of data. So because we know that presently we have we are getting huge amount of data, we generate huge amount of data, and also different varieties of data, velocity of data, and then the volume of the data. So now the data is not a scarce resource, we have enough data, but the problem is how do we process that, right? So, and also with respect to various sources, the different kinds of data we are going to generate, and within that, how are we going to process that, and what kind of techniques are we going to apply? So these are all the various challenges which are there with respect to data. Before entering to data analysis, these are the various challenges which are there with respect to data aspect, right? So that is where one of the applications of AI come into picture, where sorting this particular data. And now searching. Yes, this is one of the other smart applications with respect to AI, where now what we do is, like, we might have come across, or already we are experiencing that we try to whenever we type something on Google, before we complete our sentence, there are a lot of options are displayed, right? So these are all like some smart recommendations for you. So out of those list or options, you might go for selecting one of them. That is one thing. And also, like, you can have a voice search, so you can just talk or ask for something for Siri or Alexa, so that particular voice will be converted into text, and then whatever the asked questions, or the answers for the asked questions can be displayed. So this is one of the applications where AI comes into picture in solving those particular problems. And next is face recognition. Face recognition, most popularly used in social media platforms, and also crime detections, fraud detections, so those kind of other applications. Face recognition, already we know that in social media, like in Facebook, or let's say Twitter, or Instagram, whenever we post some the photos, it tries to tag the people, right? So these are all based on the face recognitions. So that's where one of the applications of AI comes into picture. And one more thing, the natural language processing or natural language speaking. As I told you, like, here voice recognition or natural language comes into picture, where huge amount of data is there. As I told you before, we have a lot of data. Lot of data is being generated. We can't expect every data to be structured, to be in the standard format, like in terms of numbers, or in terms of digits. So whenever we are dealing with the real-time world or real-time applications, we do get unstructured data. We generate a lot of unstructured data. Now this unstructured data, or the text data, needs to be processed in order to understand what exactly happening with respect to that, in order to get better insights, right? So that is where the AI comes into picture, where natural language processing techniques are applied in order to understand what exactly happening with respect to the document, and appropriate options or appropriate techniques can be applied in order to yield the results, or get the appropriate results based on the objective. And next is decision making. Decision making, basically, one of the applications where risk analytics comes into picture. For example, loan defaults or fraud detection. So that is one of the major concern for the banking or the financial industries. So in order to do that, AI applications are deployed or employed in order to see whether that particular person is going to be a defaulter or not, or at least try to minimize the risk. So overall, if you can see, these are the broad what I can say, the problems which can be solved by artificial intelligence. And overall, ultimate objective of AI is to help. One is, to help humans or the management to take appropriate decisions, the fact-based decisions in a scientific way, in order to avoid human errors. And on the other way, in order to avoid human itself in making decisions or taking some automated decisions where monotonous activities are involved. So I'm pretty sure that you people already gone through all these things, just to ensure or just a recap of these concepts. So moving further, now where are we going to use AI? So previously we discussed, okay, these are all the related problem statements where AI is applied. Whereas when it comes to applications of AI, we know that there are a lot of applications in each and every applications, or in each and every domains or the fields AI can be applicable. So to name a few here, the transportation is one of the what I can say, the live, or what I can say, the lively example with respect to AI. So for example, the traffic patterns, identifying the traffic patterns, and autonomous vehicles. This is one of the disruptive kind of technology in the transportation field with application of AI, and improving the public safety. And to give a live example, for example, you can take Uber or Ola, where your traffic simulations are there, or traffic real-time traffic is being displayed to your devices. So that's where AI is applicable. The real-time AI is applicable with respect to transportation fields. And next is medicine. So medicine, yes, the robotic surgery can be applied with the help of AI, and disease predictions, early stage predictions, and gene research. And there are so many other applications are there with respect to medical field itself. And when it comes to banking, yes, we profile the customers. AI is applicable for credit risk analysis, fraud detections, so money laundering activities. So these are the various applications with respect to banking industry. When it comes to education, we apply AI in creating the smart content, and to have these interactive apps, to have these automated tasks, virtual lectures. So there are so many activities which was not there in the traditional kind of learning or education, which can be ensured with the help of technology and the internet, right? And when it comes to business, the predictive modeling can be applied, and the forecasting, the risk management can be applied. Basically, it helps the management to make some valid decisions, or let's say the decisions which are based on fact, which are based on data, so that the human errors can be avoided over here. And the next is marketing, where today's concern for us with respect to discussion. Here, a lot of activities can be done with respect to AI. The AI can be applied in various concepts of marketing in order to ensure the effective and efficient marketing is there with respect to business activities, or with respect to products or services. For example, like smart implementations with respect to reach, act, convert, and engage, which are the major pillars of the marketing, and in order to get better insights, and in order to predict or forecast the customer responses, the sales, or whatever with respect to business activities, or the product sales or the service sales. Okay. Now moving further, we are in the digital era, and now the world is much connected than before. So thanks to internet and also electronic devices, which made it possible, right? So I just want to take you through a brief overview with respect to the world of internet, not to understand where are we and how are we connected, how, to what extent the internet is being spread. Okay. So next is, yeah, internet users versus total population by region. If you see the percentage of internet users with respect to population over here, you can see the Western countries, So they have around 90% or 70% or more than 80% penetrations are there with respect to population and with respect to internet, right? So what can be the reasons? The reasons are like there can be, I mean, there are better digital literacy among those countries and availability of the devices or smart devices, better infrastructure with respect to, or I can say the better in digital infrastructure and less population. So these are the various reasons to have this kind of reach, the internet reach with respect to population. Whereas if you come over here, if you see the African countries and the Southern Asian countries, the internet reach is not up to the mark, or up to the mark, if I can say, or I can say that there's still a lot of scope for internet penetration. So just 42% of the population have access for internet, or they have, the internet has been reached to them. So still there are around 58% of opportunities and the scope is there for internet. So just for just within this particular reach, the lot of activities are conducted or being taken up with respect to internet. Just imagine if it goes near 90%. So as we know, India is one of the very big markets for the world. So both in terms of consumer goods or machinery goods, and also it's one of the fastest growing economy in the world, right? So it means we have a lot of scope with respect to internet penetration, and through this internet penetration, our digital we can improve or increase, or we can have a lot of increments with respect to digital economy. Okay. Next is the share of global internet users by region. In the previous slide, we got to know that what is the extent of internet penetration with respect to population, whereas here we are trying to see the internet users, I mean the share of internet users in the overall world. So if you can see here in the Western world or Western countries, okay, I mean their share with respect to overall internet is around 7% or 2% or 3%. But if you see over the Southern Asia and Southeast Asian countries and the Eastern Asian countries, the usage of internet is more because of population and because of getting our digital infrastructure better day by day or year on year, right? So just for this particular thing, we can have, I mean, we are having so many products and services aided or helped or supported by internet. But if you could have further more reach, just imagine what kind of penetration we can have and what kind of products and services we can have and what kind of contribution to the economy, right? And moving further, so social media users with respect to total population. Yes, social media takes or it is one of the majority sections with respect to internet usage. So, and also social media has become one of the important platforms or social platforms on the digital network, and which has become a part of all our life. Either, I mean, most of us will be in one or the other social media platforms. And if you can see here, Western countries are, majority of the Western countries are connected with respect to social media, have the penetration with respect to social media platforms compared to Eastern countries. But still, I mean, if you see these Southern Asian countries, we have just 31%. And it means that still we have a lot of scope to improve in that aspect and to generate business with respect to that. Just within 31%, we can see that most of us are involved in one or the other social media activities. We do a lot of shoppings with respect to social media platforms and those things. But if you can increase this particular percentage, we can ensure better reach as well as better products and services availability in the internet market or in the internet through the internet platforms. So with the help of social media users. And as we go further, so there's just a overview about what kind of devices have the penetration with respect to world. Okay, so if you see here, the mobile phone has the basic mobile, I mean any mobile phone for that matter, around 97% of them are using mobile phone. So this particular statistics is based on the internet users aged between 16 to 64. So we have 97% of people are using mobile phones in any of the other ways. I know it can be a smartphone or it can be a basic phone. But when it comes to smartphone, we have around 96.6% of people are using smartphones, those who use internet among the internet users. And just 9% of them are using basic phone. And around 64% of them are using laptop or desktop or computers. And we can see rest of the other devices are having considerable amount of share with respect to devices, right? So with respect to people and the devices. So I mean, this tells us that the kind of reach with respect to electronic devices or smart devices to the people among the internet users. And as we proceed further, we have, I mean, this gives a overview about how the global internet usage is there among the people. If you see here, out of 7+ billion population, we have around 4.66 billion people have access to internet, or they are using internet in another other way. And around 59% of the people are the internet users with respect to total percentage. With respect to 100%, around 59% of them are internet usage users. And every year we are seeing like 7.3% growth in terms of internet. I mean, every year we have around 316 million people adding to internet community. I mean, the people who are using internet. And then if you see, around 6 hours or almost 7 hours of time is spent every day on internet by people. It can be any activity, but around 7 hours of time is spent on internet. And among these internet users, around 92% of them are using mobile phones. I mean, the internet has been accessed through mobile phones. So if you see this, the kind of we can understand the kind of extent and kind of reach the internet and the devices are there with respect to world, and also the daily time spent with respect to media. So overall, we have around 7 hours of time spent on internet, and within that, around 3 hours, 3.5 hours are spent on broadcast and streaming, and around 2.5 hours are spent on social media, and around 2 hours spent on press media, and time spent on listening music, broadcast, podcast, and games, and those stuff. So if you can see the out of overall internet usage, this has been divided. I mean, most good number of activities have been divided into various. The time has been shared for various activities. And why do we want to use internet? What are the reasons the internet is being used? One is majority of the contribution goes for finding information and staying in touch with friends and family, and then keeping up to date with the news and events, researching how to do things, watching videos, finding new ideas or inspiration, researching products and brands. So this is where our interest comes into picture, right? So one is like finding information. This can be anything. So either we are trying to look for product or services or any kind of information or any kind of content. So this can that falls under these categories. But when it comes to particular product or services, that's where around 46% of the people try to send brands, and also researching on health and healthcare products, researching on places, travel and vacations. So these are all coming into or falling into the purview of marketing aspects, or getting to know about the products and services of a business or a company, right? Now, share of social media users by age and gender, if you see here, yes, from the span of 13 years to 65 plus years, there's a this representation is there. But if you can observe here, this is the region where a majority of the social media users fall into picture. So around 18 to 24 years and 25 to 34 years, 35 to 44 years. So we can correlate this particular population to the spending. So we know that the population which falls under this age group are one of the greatest. I mean, those are the what I can say. The category of the population which spends more when compared to other population, and also this is the population which falls into earning category, and also student and earning category for that matter, right? So that's where the majority of point lies into picture. And when it comes to social platforms, we know that there are a good number of social media platforms as of now, and in that the majority share goes to Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, FB, Instagram, and those things. So, and also there are other kinds of social media platforms, but these are the ones who are taking majority share or greater share in the social media platform usage. Okay, and now what are the reasons for using social media? One is to stay up to date or to connect with the family and the friends. But there is one more interesting thing, that social media platforms are also used to research products to buy or get to know about the products, right? So around 27.5% of people research for products to buy over social media platforms. So that's how we get to know that how important the social media platforms for marketing, right? And also, if you see the extent of brand research with respect to social media platforms on 16 to in the overall span from 16 to 64 years, yes, good number of population, majority of, good amount of population are there with respect to researching about the products and services using social media or through social media platforms. In that, we can see that 16 to 44 years are the ones who are doing a lot of or contributing with respect to brand research on the social media platforms. Okay. And with respect to e-commerce activity, if we come here, the product or service which are searched online to buy, around like 81% of them are doing this particular activity, and around 90% of them like visited an online retail site or a store in order to just to browse or search about a product. And also around 69% of them used shopping app in order to purchase a product, and around 76% of purchased the product online, and also around purchased the product, 55% of them purchased product through mobile phone. So within this, if you funnel it down, so if you can see here the kind of usage happening with respect to purchase of products or services through online media or through social media platforms. And when it comes to e-commerce spend by the category with respect to internet, if you see here, like around $593 billion are spent on travel, mobility, and accommodation. And also, if you can just observe the numbers, there are a good amount of transactions are happening, or good amount of purchases are happening in various fields, right? So out of that, this travel, mobility, and accommodation takes a major share, followed by this fashion and beauty. And that's where the relevant, that's how the share of marketing and advertising also comes into picture on the social media platforms as well as internet platforms. So, and also sources of brand discovery, like how do we get to know about the brand through media platforms or the internet medium? One is through search engines, and one is on ads on televisions, word of mouth recommendations, ads on social media, brand or product websites, online retail websites, ads on websites, recommendations or comments on social media, TV shows or films, consumer review websites. So if you see here, one is search engine has already taken up a greater share with respect to brand discovery. And along with this, when we skip this television ads, so there are a lot of other online mediums or the platforms which are helping people to discover the brands or get to know about the brands or find about the brands. Okay, so that's where the online medium and the social media platforms plays an important role with respect to marketing aspects. And when it comes to demographic distribution with respect to product search online, so from 16 to 64 years, there's a good amount of representation is there. So from both male and female category of population. And brand related online activities, they visit a brand's website, watched a video made by a brand, and followed a brand on a social network, and read on email or newsletters, visited brand's social network page, downloaded or used a brand app. So it means, so within this internet medium, how the brand related activities or brand related information has been communicated on various platforms. We have this websites, the social media platforms, and then through digital ads, through a blog, or through third-party websites. So there are various platforms where the branding happens, or through which the brandings of products and services are happening. And with respect to advertising, digital advertising market value, we can see that the total, it has around $355 billion spent in 2020 itself. And within that, for the search ads, it has been spent around $152. And if you can see here, like spend on digital banners are there, social media ads are there, and digital video ads are there, and digital classified ads are there. So if you can see, like within the online medium, within the advertising platforms, there are various other segments of platforms to put up advertisements or to make use of advertisements on the online platform. And also amount of investment made on those particular platforms. The reason why is that we got to know that amount of users, and then internet penetration, the devices, and the reasons for using internet. So all those things has triggered the business houses to invest in this online medium and the social media platforms for advertising and marketing purposes. So now that was a brief overview about the internet world. For me to give this kind of, not to understand the reach of the digital reach with, and the scope of artificial intelligence with respect to marketing. Because when we get to know that, okay, this is the kind of reach the people has, obviously we try to take up or get the help of that particular channels to reach or to communicate or create awareness about products and services among the population. So that's where the AI comes into picture, right? So this is about the basic customer life cycle with respect to marketing. When it comes to, I mean, we have, as we all know, that we have 4 pillars with respect to marketing aspect. One is reach, and one is add, convert, and engage. Whereas reach tries to attract more visitors and provide an engaging experience, which lead to purchase. I mean, it creates an awareness about the products or services to the to the customers or the potential customers. Where act is intended to draw the consumer and to make them aware of our products and services. The convert is the important stage, as we know, like this is the stage where we convert the potential customers to actual customers, those who become customers to, I mean, those who purchase the products and services through previous 2 efforts. And then engage is the one where we try to build engagement with the customers, and then provide like customer services, post-sale services. So now if we can relate this particular activity with respect to artificial intelligence, and what all areas and what all kinds of techniques can be applied with respect to AI or AI techniques which can be applied with respect to this customer's life cycle. This is the where the application of AI comes into picture with respect to various pillars. So if you can see the reach stage where the demand generation and purchase intent begins. So in this stage, we can apply the smart content curation, programmatic media bidding, AI generated content and voice search. So these are the techniques or the applications of AI which can be used now to reach the customers. And then during the stage of act, we can use the propensity modeling techniques, ad targeting techniques, or predictive analytics and lead scoring in order to act, or in order to what I can say, try to create more interest with respect to product or services for the customers, or those the customers who are interested. We are trying to engage them. And next is at the convert stage, we try to retarget the products and services for the customers, or dynamic pricing based on the customer profiles. And then we can app personalization based on the customers website activities or the history and the chat bots. Right? And at the engage stage, we use the predictive customer service activities, marketing automation techniques, and then one-on-one dynamic content emails. So if you can see in various stages or in various levels of customer life cycle, we can have the different kinds of predictive techniques, or let's say artificial intelligence techniques, in order to ensure there is an effective and efficient activities involved in each stage. And if you can see the different colors which are present over here, yeah, the blue ones indicate the machine learning techniques which are applied, and the greener ones tells about the propensity model, and the red color ones indicate the AI application. Anyhow, we'll be discussing some of them in detail as we proceed further. And just to explain, give a brief explanation about the graph over here. So this is the stage. At the reach stage, we have a demand generation and purchase intent, and then we go for first purchase during the act, or towards the stage of end stage of act. And at that time, like that particular customer can be an indecisive customer. So that is one thing. Or this indecisive customer can become a repeat customer again. And from first purchase to it can become a repeat customer, and then he becomes a loyal customer. And from here, there can be a lapsed customer who can either be a repeat customer, or again he can be a indecisive customer. So as being a market professionals, these things are very well known. So for these stages, we are trying to apply the AI techniques now to ensure there is an efficiency in this. There's a good marketing, what I can say, reach with respect to various stages. Okay, now we got to know that the kind of devices which are used, and kind of platforms which are used, and the kind of internet penetration with respect to products, with respect to devices, and with respect to users and the population. Right now, what are the reasons? What makes 1 minute. So what makes customers to use the internet platforms or the social media platforms with respect to marketing in specific? One is, I mean, what prompts them to go with respect to click on that particular advertisement, or show interest on that particular advertisement or the marketing platforms. So one is the being responsive. Around 48% of them go for that particular thing because that is being responsive. On 46%, they offer promotions, as we all know, and providing educational content and sharing interesting visuals and being funny and offer exclusive content. So if you can see here, there's a good mix. I mean, all these activities are very much, or all these aspects are very much relevant and very much required in order to make a appropriate presence in the digital platforms. Either it can be social media platforms or other internet platforms. Okay, so that is where AI comes into picture. So now we got to know the extent of reach, the kind of data generation and kind of population and amount of population who are there on the internet platform and those things. So since we generate huge amount of data in each and every activity, uh, we can make use of this data in order to uh, create a proper marketing strategy so that we can rightly target the right customers. Okay, so what is AI in marketing? That is artificial intelligence in marketing. So basically it uses artificial intelligence to make an automated decisions which are based on data collection, data analysis, and observations of the audiences and other economic trends, which helps us to make an impactful marketing impactful marketing strategies, or make a marketing efforts and impactful, right? So relevant for this, I would like to play one video for you people.
Ever wonder how your marketing programs are really performing? Are they working together to build a solid customer base? Are some attracting more customers than others? Marketing analytics gives you a focused view of your marketing campaigns and the big picture for your overall marketing strategy. The ability to accurately report on the past, analyze the present, and predict the future is invaluable. Your point of view may only be as good as your data, especially if it's sitting in individual channels. How do you marry business growth, technology, and a dizzying number of data sources to get an accurate assessment? Only an integrated marketing analytics platform can help you make decisions with one-stop shopping to get all the information you need. 3 steps create this optimal view. First, consider using a variety of analytic techniques. You will gain the assurance that all your bases are covered. No individual customer engagement channels go unchecked. Next, use deeper analysis to discover gaps in your marketing. Learn what channels provide the broadest reach and the least. With one clear picture, you can identify the gaps and fill them in over time. Finally, act on what you learn. Test, retest, and learn. Marketing analytics helps you improve your customer marketing strategy and performance. Real success in a marketing analytics strategy takes top-down support, the right talent to dig deep into your data, and the right software to help you predict your next move. Get the big picture view of your customer marketing portfolio now. Digital.
Yeah. So now we got a overall picture about how artificial intelligence can be very much effective, or which can, we make marketing efforts much more impactful, right? So with the application of various techniques which are involved in artificial intelligence. Now moving further, let's try to understand the various pillars of AI in marketing and what kind of techniques which are applied in various stages or in various levels, as we saw in the previous slides about the graph. So in the reach stage, we use smart content curation, programmatic media buying, AI generated content and vision or voice search. Whereas in the act stage, we use propensity modeling, ad targeting, predictive analytics, and lead scoring. Whereas in convert stage, dynamic pricing, retargeting, web and app personalization, and the chat bots. Whereas in engage stage, we make use of predictive customer service, marketing automation, and one-on-one dynamic emails. Okay, so now let's try to look in detail for some of the concepts or techniques. So before that, I just want to give a brief overview of the flow of AI. So the way of AI. So as we know, we know that a good amount of data is being generated in the AI platforms or in the digital world or in the internet platform. So now we need to ensure that the right selection of the data is there with respect to or relevant to our objective or the task of the work, right? And also we know that what kind of, and also it depends on what kind of data which are available. It can be like that structured or unstructured, we try to process that data or make it more relevant in order to feed in for the next systems. And once we make that kind of selection, we go for pre-processing. As we know that data mostly, like it may not be in the standard format which can be feed into the system as is various basis. So we need to activities to be done to make it more standardized and relevant for next process, where we treat with respect to missing values, coding the data and cleaning the data, and then converting this unstructured data into structured data. And then we transform this data relevant for what kind of format to be there with respect to data. And after this data cleaning process comes into is done, the next is the data mining process comes into picture. So data mining is nothing but we're trying to extract some useful information from the raw data. And this useful information can be applicable for making decisions, or which helps management to make business decisions. And with respect to marketing domain, it helps to make an effective marketing decisions based on this information. And based on the information what we get, so we try to evaluate that whether the appropriate results have come, or whether this particular information is relevant to our marketing activities. Can we take appropriate decisions for this marketing activity based on this information? So those evaluations are done at this stage. And based on this evaluation, the next stage comes into decision. So as we see, there are different layers involved, different stages are involved within AI. Okay. So next is data mining in marketing, as I told you. So this is nothing but trying to extract some information from the raw data. And what exactly happens with respect to data mining, in simple words, it tries to discover patterns and relationships underlying the data, or which is there with respect to data, which helps to make better decisions. So for example, within the market segment or marketing domain, it helps to spot the sales trends or develop smart marketing campaigns and accurately predict customer loyalty. So, and what can be the inputs or kind of data which can go for data mining or marketing analytics for that aspect? So one is like transaction history of customers and website inquiries, social media interactions, kind of reviews, what we give. So likewise, we can collect n amount of data. Any kind of data which is relevant to that particular activity or that particular products or sales. So that's where the data mining comes into picture and tries to extract information from this kind of raw data. So that's where we have this data sets and database systems, and we apply this machine learning and statistics techniques. So the combination of these helps to create this artificial intelligence kind of aspect, which helps in marketing decisions or trying to extract information relevant for marketing decisions. So what will be the outcome from this data mining? One is user profiling will be there, and user analysis will be there, and user targeting and user grouping. User profiling, mostly we try to segment the customers, or we try to understand what kind of customers, what kind of products to be targeted to what kind of customers. So what are their economics, what are their demographic status, economic status, purchasing ability. So based on these things, the user profiling, based on these things, profiling will be done with respect to customers, and user analysis will get to know how their transaction histories are there, and how often they purchase the products or services, how often they visit this particular site. And user targeting, we try to target the right users with respect to right target, with respect to right pricing, so those stuffs. So user grouping, mainly it segments the customers based on their demographic status, based on their geographic status, and based on their taste and behavioral aspect with respect to online activities or social media activities. So smart content. So now we are trying to discuss few aspects which are there in various stages. One is smart content curation. So here the smart content curation, we can understand, I mean, what is this smart content curation? Now what happens, if we have very few customers, then we can write individual mails by understanding the customers and their behavior about their products and services. We can write individual mails and send it to them. Let's say if we have a huge amount of customers, a huge customer base who are having that particular products or services, or who can be a potential customers, it is highly impossible to write emails for each and every customers or the potential customers. And the research says that around 80% of them will be what I can say, show interest when there is a personalized message. So we can say that 80% of personalized emails will have an effect, whereas 20% of unpersonalized emails will have an effect. So it means personalized emails will have a greater impact, for example. And also one of the good examples is that you might know the app such as InShot, right? So there, that gives just a 5 minutes read, which tries to gather important content from various newspaper articles or online medias, and just presents only relevant reads or relevant kind of content, so that if the customer is further interested with respect to that article or that information, he can go and explore further. If not, he can just get a gist of what is happening in that particular news or in that particular area or the news region. So all these things happens with respect to smart content curation. Now, why this smart content curation is important? As I mentioned, one of the example is that to ensure to write a personalized emails or to give a personalized content to the customers, so that the relevant content is given to the customers. More or less, I can say tailoring the content for the customers based on their interest, based on their behavioral aspects, based on their categories, based on their profiles. So that is where one of the important aspect which can create interest. That's where we can reach the customer through AI. And one more application is programmatic advertising. That's where in the reach stage comes into picture. In here, what happens? So initially in the traditional advertising, here the buyer and seller, they come together, they have that negotiation among them, and then try to sell their products, and then they will publish their advertisements in the various platforms. And that particular process is, one is, we don't know like what exactly the price is. So whatever the price which is being determined or given or offered by the seller, sometimes the buyer may take that thing, right? And also that process is a time consuming process. And also here the data is scattered everywhere. So it's highly impossible to bring all the data together and to make use of that particular data, to extract sufficient information from all those data. So these are all the various limitations which are there with respect to traditional advertising. Here the application of AI can help overcome this kind of limitations which are there in traditional advertising. Whereas in programmatic advertising, what happens here, the time consumptions will be less. Why? Because here the buyer and seller, sometimes like buyer will already determine, okay, for if this particular advertisement for this particular space, I can pay this much of amount. And there can be the sellers who are there with respect to various segments or various wherever this two matches, they can go and then negotiate and then get the prices done. And also it is very much effective, and it's a less time consuming process. And also with the application of this AI, the huge amount of data can be processed, and the relevant websites and the relevant users can be targeted with respect to advertising. So if you see here the processing, if there is an advertiser, he reaches to the digital marketing publisher with respect, and this publisher will get the input from label data and the raw data, and he will approach to demand side publisher. So here this publisher and supply side publishers will be there, and when this particular advertisement goes into this ad exchanges, the bidding happens. Whoever bids for more than that particular words or that particular advertisement can be taken up, or that space can be taken up. Here the bidding, what are the factors which are influencing bidding? One is the region, one is the time, and one is the relevance and the popularity of that particular topic in that particular context. For example, if you go for Facebook marketing itself, in Facebook marketing, what happens? Not in Facebook, Facebook marketing or Google marketing for that matter, the particular keywords, there is no one particular price for all the keywords. The price is determined based on the keywords. If the keyword is in high demand, for example, data science, or for example, COVID, or for example, some artificial intelligence. So likewise, these are the buzzwords or the keywords which are in popularity. So for these keywords, the price will be more, the bidding will be more. Whereas the keywords which has less popularity or no relevance, that keywords will be having less or tagged with the less price. So that's where the bidding happens, and then that particular keywords can be chosen for your advertising purposes. And also within the place where the place where we are going to place our advertisements, is it as a side thing or a banner advertisement or a pop-up kind of advertisement or just a running kind of advertisement. So for each and every kind of advertisements, we have different prices, and based on the time and the kind of the platform we are trying to post. So that's where the bidding comes in. That's how the bidding the factors influencing the bidding. So all this, when all these decisions are made, all these processes are made, like that positions will be taken up. I mean, taken up in the sense that particular decision is made with respect to ad position, and and this ad positions will be targeted to right audiences. For example, if you go to some education related websites, for example, if you go to shiksha.com or Jagan Josh or any other informative websites which gives educational information or a content, there you can see most of the what I can say advertisements are the college related advertisements or admissions related advertisements or courses related advertisements are there. But if you go to something relevant, I mean something on automobiles, or if you go to a blog where you try to read something on automobiles or it's a particular car, you will get advertisements relevant to the automobiles, let's say like Benz or BMW or Tata. So they are trying to market, or their products are being advertised in that particular page. So it means it tries to segment or profile the customers, and for those kind of segments, that appropriate advertisements are placed in. So that's where it happens. And whenever the audiences or the potential customer responds, it goes back to publisher, and that's where the generation, the money generation or the conversion of the products or services will happen. So with this, the amount, I mean, the cost saving is more. Why? Because we are trying to target the right audience with at least the transparent kind of pricing with respect to advertisements and the placings, and also we can choose what kind of placements we need to have for our advertisements. So that's where this programmatic advertising helps a lot with the application of AI. I mean, being a part of AI in advertisement placements. Okay, so on this regard, I would like to give some more insights on video. So I just want to see, this is just an advertisement with respect. When I try to play this relevant link, they're trying to play the similar kind of advertisements. So this is nothing but whatever the topic we discuss, the programmed advertisement.
To learn more about digital advertising, visit iab.net. When you visit a web page with your browser, a complex process of content selection and delivery begins. Involving video or mobile environments can make it even more complex. Let's break it down for you. Keeping to a desktop environment example, we'll show you how an advertiser might have their ads placed on a website using an automated real-time bidding system. The process begins when you visit the publisher's webpage. The publisher is the website owner. Publishers generate content such as news, music, information. This content draws an audience, and the publisher sells ad space to advertisers who want to reach that audience. Upon visiting the publisher's webpage, the browser opens a connection to the publisher's server. The publisher's server then assembles content for the page. After returning the requested content in the form of HTML, the browser begins to interpret and render it. At least one line of that HTML code represents the opportunity to display an ad. Within that one line of code, there's a URL that tells the browser where to go to retrieve ad content. The publisher has an ad server that uses built-in logic to choose what happens next by considering a series of important questions like, does this opportunity to show an ad work for one of my premium inventory buyers? Or is there anything I know about the consumer viewing my content that will help me decide which advertisers should get this opportunity? If the ad space isn't reserved for any specific advertiser, the publisher ad server may decide to put this opportunity out on the open ad market where they might get a better deal. To put the ad opportunity on the open market, the publisher ad server connects to an SSP, which stands for Supply Side Platform. This is a platform that the publisher uses to monetize its programmatic ad inventory. The SSP applies additional logic, asking questions such as, have I seen this consumer before? Or, what does my data provider have to say about this consumer? Using that acquired knowledge, it sends the ad request off to an ad exchange. Meanwhile, the ad exchange has been busy connecting to and communicating with potential buying systems. These systems include demand-side platforms, or DSPs, networks, and even other exchanges. Now, in the same way that I can tell a stockbroker, I will buy 100 shares of some stock the moment it falls below a certain price. Buy-side systems can tell the exchange that they will pay $1 per 1,000 ads displayed to males 35 to 50 years old living in the Pacific Northwest. This is called a pre-cached bid. If fulfilled, it will speed up the process of filling a real-time or programmatic order for an ad. Now, for the sake of this example, let's say there are no pre-cached bids. In that case, the exchange's next step is remarkable. It says to all of its partners, if you want a chance to show an ad to a person meeting this specific criteria, tell me how much you are willing to pay and do it in less than 10 milliseconds. Let's put that in context for you. It takes 300 milliseconds to blink your eye. Despite this seemingly unrealistic requirement of the exchange, buyers respond in that time, and the exchange selects a winning bid. The winning DSP passes instructions to the exchange for retrieving the ad creative. The exchange passes those instructions to the SSP. The SSP sends the request to the publisher ad server. And finally, the publisher ad server responds to the still open HTTP connection, telling the browser to go to the agency ad server for the ad. The agency ad server tracks ad performance for advertisers. And upon receiving the ad request originating from the DSP with the winning bid, the agency ad server records the request as an impression. Now, the web browser can finally render the ad within the web page content, resulting in the delivery of an ad most appropriately matched to you. This entire process, depending on internet speeds, can happen in a fraction of a second. The digital landscape is complex, even more so than explained in this simplified example. More systems may be involved than represented here. And if the ad is served to a video player, a connected TV, or a mobile device, the process may look different. The IAB is helping to make technical operations like this and others work more smoothly across the digital landscape. To learn more about digital advertising, visit iab.net.
So we got to know, so in the digital space, like how the advertisement placings will happen. So here, the advertiser wants to display his ads on some particular position or some particular location in the website. So that's where he requests for the advertising agencies or the digital marketing platforms, and that's where the DSPs will be there saying that okay, this particular space is there, and for this particular price, if I get, then I can sell it. So that's where to and fro communication happens, and then finally the ads are placed. And the entire process influenced by the kind of audiences. So as I took two examples before, like educational content and automobile related content, so that's majorly relevant and majorly targeted to relevant customers or relevant audiences. So now we can, we used to wonder why there are hell lot of websites giving some free content and free resources to visit their websites. So there are so many websites. If you want to get the traditional newspapers, we'll have to pay and then get it. And then that's where the advertising, we can look in there and then get to know about the products and services. Whereas on the online medium, we get so many content or blogs or the information which are free, right? So actually, which is not free, through us, they are trying to make money. So make money in the sense, that's the platform. That's where if we have more number of visitors, more number of views for that particular blog or for that particular websites or a page, so higher the demand for that page or for that space or for that particular website. So that's where they can bid in this exchange for higher price for the advertisements. Okay, so that's where we can see a lot of advertisements here and there in whenever frequently visited websites or the websites which are providing free materials, free resources. That's where nowadays the free content is becoming one of the buzzwords, which is not actually free. So that is on the which is trying to make business indirectly or through, what I can say, the connected businesses. Okay, so this is about the application of programmatic advertising as a part of AI in the marketing space. Okay, next is voice search. So voice search is again like one of the important medium or one of the important technique which can be there or which we can use it for marketing aspects. For example, we use iPhone or other Google phones, or we ask Alexa or Siri to search for something, and then it tries to convert that particular voice into text and then or machine understandable language and tries to extract that particular information or that relevant information and then give it back. Okay, so that's where the devices are trying to have this voice conversions or translations kind of equipments within the devices, and this particular market is rapidly growing. The voice search market or voice search techniques with respect to devices are rapidly growing in the marketing industry. And next is propensity modeling. So what is this propensity modeling? So propensity modeling, so before propensity modeling, what we used to do is in the traditional kind of marketing, we used to have the umbrella advertisements to all kinds of customers, all kinds of consumers or potential or all kinds of customers, to be specific. We were not sure whether the customers where the advertisements or marketing aspects are being targeted, whether will they be a potential customers, or can we convert that customers into a actual buyers of the products or services. So we used to just market all the products. That's where the without knowing purchase behaviors, and not knowing about the aspects, paying capability and their geographical location. So without knowing much about the customers, we used to place the ads as an umbrella ads to everyone. Whereas with the application of AI, so specifically this propensity modeling, what happens? It targets the prospects of what I can say the right customers, targets the prospects likely to respond to marketing communication efforts. So within that range of customers, it divides, it ranks, saying that, okay, this group of customers are less likely to buy your products or services, whereas this group of customers are having a high chances of buying your products and services. For example, let's take the fashion related products. Okay, the fashion wears. So instead of placing the umbrella advertisements to everyone, including the younger ones, adults, and the older population, here for this particular product, the potential buyers are adult population, right? Let's say from 16 to 35 or maximum 40. And above 40, the different kind of fashionable wears are there, right? So if you market irrespective of this customer profiles, or irrespective of their customer features, we are spending extra costs on advertisements which are displayed for older customers or elder customers, or to the younger customers. So instead of rightly targeting the adult population. So that is where the propensity modeling comes into picture and helps to helps to solve that particular problem. So it ranks the group of customers into highly potential customers, medium potential customers, or low potential customers, and based on this we can target the products or services with respect to advertisements. So, and in this high propensity customers, if we link this particular thing to the previous one, the programmatic application, the programmatic advertising, so the cost will be more. Why? Because the chances of conversion are high in this category and compared to this. So that's where the price will be less for the medium category or the low category compared to high. Why? Because the conversion is more. So that's where the propensity modeling help marketing techniques or advertising placements. Okay. So this particular thing comes at the stage of act of the in the life cycle of in the customer life cycle. So that's where once these right customers are targeted, the customers will be buyers for the particular products or services. And moving further, one more concept, that is lead scoring. Now, within the digital space, we saw that, okay, so we have different kinds of platforms within the digital space. For example, we have social media, we have blogs, we have search engines, we have video platforms, and then we have actual websites, the business websites. So we have different kinds of platforms within the digital space. And in that, within the digital space and within these different platforms, we don't know what kind of customers will be buying what kind of products or services, right? So to what extent, what is the, yes, we can target to the potential customers, and within that potential customers, we can score, okay, this within the category of potential customer, this percentage of potential customers are highly there are high chances to buy it, whereas this percentage of customers have low chances of buying it within being a potential customer. So that's why what we do is in lead scoring, we try to assign scores for each kind of customers, or for each kind of or each group of customers. Here, if you can see here, the customers, for example, just now, when we try to play a video, we got one advertisement. How many of them will go for that advertisements and then try to become a customer for that, will buy that particular product or services? It's very less. So it's a passing advertisements in our regular activity, right? So we are not that much, though the content was very much relevant for us, which will be useful for us, maybe in future we may buy it, but still we are not a immediate customers for them, right? So that's where the score is less. So that's where whenever that video thing, or let's say just a passing aspects comes into picture, for those kind of consumers, the ranking will be less. Whereas in advertisements, for example, whenever we visit a website, let's say the shiksha.com website, there we try to read some articles, but on the side or on the banner or at the heading, we keep getting the advertisements. It's most of the time we may not go to that advertisement, click that, and then go to landing page. But still, the content which are appearing are relevant, but the chances are there. Okay, so just out of curiosity, or just if we may have some lead, for example, if we are trying to read about a cat, okay, now those institutes which are offering the cat coaching will be provided over there. Their advertisements will be placed. So now if a student is reading about a cat, when he gets interest onto it, he tries to look for which are the probable course offerers. Now, those who are provided on that, there's high likely for him to go and click and then go for landing page and get to know about the pricing, and he may become potential customers, a potential customer to, or a buyer of the particular product or services. The chances are little high. So that's where the ranking can be given better. And again, the video. So when it comes to video and just a static kind of advertisement, the video has better impact. So it is well-known fact, and also it has been proved by various researchers. So the video creates better impact with respect to advertisements when compared to just a static displays, right? So that's where the better scoring can be given for those consumers who view videos, and through them the advertisements are targeted. And there are group of customers, if you want to buy a product or services, most of us have done that whenever we want to buy a product or services, we search for the product, or we search for the brand, and then look for it, and then try to read for it, and then we go for that particular website and then buy the product or services. So this category of customers or population will be a potential customers, or I can say were highly potential customers, who, I mean, the business has a high chances of getting them as a customer, or who can be buying these products or services, right? So this category of customers will be ranked high. The score will be high. So that's where now, based on this different scores, now we can target the right kind of customers. So that's where we try to create a free content, we try to create informative contents, and within that informative content, we try to place in our ads, try to place in the links related to it. So that's where, as the interest grows, when the customer starts reading it or getting to know, that's where the conversion happens, or buying of products or services will happen. Okay, so this is one of the technique, the automatical, by understanding the customers, the kind of customers, the profile of customers, and their tracking, their history, those stuff. The automatic scoring will be given, the lead scoring will be given. So yes, all of them are leads, but within that lead, we try to score them based on their potential, based on their intensity of buying it, or based on the probability of buying the products or services. Okay. At stage of marketing. So now comes a predictive marketing analytics, again, which falls under act, and then customer service, engage kind of thing, stage of this thing. Now, this one we are already experiences. Most of us have already experienced this kind of analytics or the placements whenever we shop on the online websites or e-commerce website. For example, Amazon or Flipkart or eBay or let's say Netflix. So those kind of things. Now, what how do system know that okay, I will be liking, or I may be looking for this kind of products. One is we already get to know that we get this kind of placement saying that customer we viewed this item, also viewed these products, customers bought this product along with this product, so you may like this product. The customer who bought this particular product also buy this product. How this happens? Mainly because of the track history. One is it is tracking your own activity within the website and your purchase behavior or purchase intention with respect to any particular product, and it tries to map with similar kind of customers who had already bought that kind of product along with the other products, who are having similar kind of taste or similar kind of age profile, similar kind of paying capability, similar kind of gender, okay, similar kind of frequency of visiting to the website or shopping. So based on these activities, it analyzes, okay, so this is the person who has bought this product, but I already have a customers who have bought this product. Along with that product, they have bought a couple of other products also. Now, most of the times when we buy something, we are not knowing what needs to buy. I mean, sometimes we just keep browsing on e-commerce websites without having any idea of buying anything, right? So whenever some product has been popped up, then the need arises, or we might have already thought about that product, but we might have forgot that. But when it suddenly comes in, we remember, okay, this product might be needed. So this kind of behavioral intentions are applicable or applied in this recommender systems in order to make or prompt customers to buy additional products. Okay, so that's where based on your profile and also based on the other customers tracking profiles and the purchase history and all, the similar kind of products and services are targeted to you. So that's where the predictive marketing comes into picture. Now, when I want to explain this predictive marketing analytics, what happens? Predictive analytics is nothing but it is trying to predict something based on the factors. So it's trying to predict a target variable or an outcome based on the predictive variables, right? So for example, if I want to purchase something, so let's say one electronic product. Now, what are the factors which influences that buying intention of that product? One is my purchasing behavior, I mean my status with respect to paying status, and my gender, my age, my occupation, my past history of buying electronic devices. So these are the factors which are influencing this. Now, with this data, the model has been trained. So let's say the regression or decision models or the decision tree models or random forest models have been trained, saying that okay, so this if the customer has this kind of properties, this kind of features, he is likely to buy this particular product. If he has this kind of products, he is not likely to buy this product. So this kind of information has been fed to the system and it is trained. Now, whenever a new customer comes in, it tries to match in, okay, what is his features? Now, this feature has been mapped already before with respect to labeled data. And when it feeds to the system and it tries to give an output saying based on that features, it may give whether this customer may buy this product or may not buy based on the features. That kind of activity is nothing but predictive analytics. Okay, so I think like most of you people already know about this, just to ensure there is no break in the concepts. And also in the customer segmentation, where what we discussed in the previous slides. So the predictive marketing analytics mostly falls under supervised techniques. So basically in data science or data science aspects or machine learning aspects, we have two concepts. Let's supervised and unsupervised. In supervised learning, what happens? There will be a labeled data, and the machine will be trained based on that labeled data and then input variables. And we try to test that model based on the just a predictive variable and compare its accuracy. And within that, there are various techniques like regression models, that, this, and all. Whereas in the unsupervised learning, what happens? There won't be any target variable. We are not trying to predict anything. We're just trying to classify the products. For example, we have a basket of fruits where we have apples, oranges, and pomegranates. Now we just feed this system this information to the system and ask the system to segregate this products. So what it does, based on the features of the product, the apples have been separated. Why? Because of its features, maybe red color, maybe round in shape, maybe different size. So based on those features, whichever fruit has that kind of features, it segregates that. Similarly, pomegranate and then orange, it does. So here it is not trying to predict anything. It is trying to segregate or classify something. So that kind of techniques is nothing but clustering techniques. Similarly, it can be applied for the customers. For example, age of 15 to 35 age group customers who are having this kind of income, or students or employed. So they will be categorized one, and elder people may be categorized as one segment, and based on their track history. So those kind of techniques are applied in order to segment. So this segmentation will apply in the like propensity modeling and in other customer segmentation aspects. Now moving further, dynamic pricing. So this is one of the important concepts relevant in marketing, because we can't have a same kind of the constant price for all kinds of customers or at all time periods throughout the year or throughout the month or throughout the day, right? And also the same price, we can't have a constant price throughout the region, right? Or throughout, with respect to the competitors. So now what happens if you have that the constant pricing thing? We may lose out the additional income or additional revenue which are coming with respect to variables, variable pricing. So that's where, because we won't be knowing, like, okay, so yes, based on the personal experiences and those things, we may try to target. If we have less number of customers and if we have one-on-one selling mechanisms, then okay, based on the customers, based on their loyalty, based on their frequency of visits, and based on the day and the time thing, we can give discounts with respect to products. But in the platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, or any other e-commerce platforms, we don't know what kind of customer, because we don't have that face-to-face recognition or touch with respect to sales aspects or marketing aspects. So now what happens, based on their, again, the segments, based on their profiles of the customers, based on the regions, so they're based on the past history of sales with respect to product or services, the entire forecast is being made, saying that, okay, for this time period of a year, so this will be the sales, this kind of customers will be visiting, this kind of customers will be buying these products, and this will be the demand for these products and for this particular price. And at the same time, we'll be having how many of the customers have visited our websites, navigated in our websites, but they didn't buy their product or services. So all these kinds of information will be there. Now, based on this information and based on the demand and based on the availability of that products or services, and also based on the competitors. So how our competitors are making that, offering that particular product or services, we try to make this forecast and then give a pricing for that time period. So the best example and the real-time example is Uber or Ola pricing. For example, if you try to book the same cab for the same location, from the same destination, from the same source to destination, during peak hours, the price will be more. But if you make the same kind of trip in the non-peak hours, the price will be less when compared to peak hours, right? And also, when during this, whenever there is no demand, then the pricing will be less. And also, whenever there are less number of cab drivers or cabs availability, then also the demand will, then also the pricing will be more. And if Uber and Ola are providing similar kind of rates for the same destination, then both of them will try to reduce the cost a little bit, not to effectively compete in the market. So with this, we can clearly understand how the dynamic pricing helps to get the additional revenues instead of fixing the pricing that. So this happens with the algorithm, machine learning algorithms or AI algorithms relevant to dynamic pricing. The best example is, as I told you, Ola and the Uber pricing based on the time period of the day, based on the availability, and also based on the demand. Okay, so this is one aspect. The next is chatbots. So chatbots has become very popular nowadays, which are applicable in almost all kinds of industries and all kinds of websites or all kinds of business activities, right? So your chatbots, initially what used to happen, we used to have a dedicated staff. So all these things comes with respect to customer support or customer services, where we used to have a dedicated staff in order to respond to the queries, either through calls or either through emails or messages, these things, which used to incur a lot of costs and also human errors. So in order to reduce these human errors and automate the process, chatbots are introduced. This is mainly based on the NLP algorithms, that is natural language processing algorithms. Within that, based on the keywords, based on the named entity recognitions, and based on various techniques, the chatbots are the relevant techniques, relevant context or content is being prepared. So let's say if I ask for, I want to book a ticket, now the robot says, okay, fine. It asks for what source and what destination. And if I give that source and destination, now it asks for from which, from what day and what time. Now we give a time and date, and then it asks for around what price. So likewise, so here if you can see, here it tries to get some important keywords here. Now the keyword is look and tickets, majorly the tickets. Now these tickets can be any ticket. It can be a movie ticket, it can be a bus ticket, or it can be a flight ticket, and those kind of things, right? And this again customized based on what kind of websites we are visiting. Let's say if we go to IBGO or just a traveling kind of websites there, and if it start chatting, obviously the tickets there will be bus or traveling kind of tickets. Let's say if Book My Show, if that particular website is offering both traveling tickets as well as movie tickets, there it has to ask for which kind of ticket. Is it a movie ticket or a travel ticket? Now travel ticket. Within travel ticket, what kinds of tickets? So it means everything is been already fed to the system and made the system to learn, made the machine to learn. Okay, so if this is the response, if this is the input, this should be the response. Okay, and then it tries to give whatever the necessary information as a response, and if for further details it gives some other link so that you can go and look out for some more information. Here the staff can be reduced, and also instant messaging, the availability which is available 24/7, and instant messaging will be there, and the instant information can be done, right? So, and we can keep our customers engaged with our products or services. So that's why the chatbots are becoming very popular, and which is there in almost all kinds of businesses. It can be e-commerce, it can be like a banking, or it can be a product, automobiles or other stuffs. Now the customer service automation within this, we might have already observed, like whenever we try to make a customer service call, we get an automated responses saying that, okay, welcome, and they may ask for your number, or let's say they may ask for like what kind of information you want. So, and then it keeps on navigating and try to provide the relevant information. For example, if you want to call a bank and ask for our balance, you don't have to call our the physical person and then ask for our balance. We can just call the automated number and then feed in that particular response, and then we'll get to know our balances. And similarly, within this e-commerce, like other products or services, there also we can try to get the information, which is like automated one. So we will get to connect with a physical person only it is necessary, only if it is urgent, or only if the solutions are not the solutions offered by the automated responses is not sufficient enough. Okay, so what are the advantages? Why do we need this automated customer service? Is that one is, it will be, I mean, we will get a 24/7 availability and effective solutions for repetitive questions, because the similar kind of questions will be asked most of the times. So to answer the similar kind of questions, it is not advisable, or there's no point in having dedicated staff for that. Right? So the similar questions or repetitive questions can be automated. The answers for them can be automated. And whenever this kind of answers are asked for, we can place it. And quick resolution of issues, as we saw in the chatbots, and the similar can be made through calls, and less pressure on help center agents. Let's say like if there is a high demand and if the traffic is more, then if there are no enough staff to respond it, then the response for the customer is getting delayed. Right? And also cost reduction, obviously the staff and the infrastructure cost will be reduced, and the human error reduction will be there to greater extent. Okay, so these are all the various aspects which are involved with respect to customer service automation. And one is dynamic emails. One-on-one dynamic emails is also one of the important aspect in the engage stage of a marketing, and that can be made more effective with the help of AI through this one-on-one dynamic emails. For example, as I told you before, personalized mails will have higher impact, higher effect when compared to non-personalized emails. So if you take our own cases, we tend to open the emails if there is a mention of our name mostly. If there is a generic email, we try to ignore it or send it to spam, right? So that's where. So if you can see here, it says that, hello Kevin, the video from the last London email meetup are here, and so thing. So here the subject, I mean the main content is almost same, where the address content or the target person is different. So by understanding customers, by customizing the information for that particular customers, we can try to retain and serve the customer in a better way. So that's how we can retain the customer and make them as a loyal customers by our better services. So these things can be help. I mean, these things can be ensured with the help of this one-on-one dynamic emails. And sometimes we can try to modify within the main content of a email, the main body of the email also. So now we could go through with the various techniques which were there in various stages, right from reach, act, and engage. So all the four stages, we had different kinds of techniques, machine learning or AI related techniques, which are trying to address the problems relevant to that particular stage and to make those stages more effective, more engaging. Okay. Now, I just want to give a brief overview of natural language processing. And previously, I had given a brief overview of the customer segmentations and then regression and those kind of stuff. And more, I mean, as I told you, in this space, when I gave a brief overview about the kind of internet usage, extent of market penetration, kind of internet platforms, the social media platforms, we know that a lot of content has been generated, a lot of data has been generated, and in that we can't expect all the data should be in a proper way. Let's say it should be in the digits, or it should be in the numbers, or it should be in the numeric and the clean data. most of the cases we generate unstructured data, mostly unstructured data in the sense it can be text data, or it can be audio data, or it can be video data, right? So now, how do we process this? So that's where the natural language processing comes into picture. For the data, whenever there is a number related or numeric data, we can clean that data, process it, and we have other kinds of techniques which can be established on already, which is being discussed in the previous sessions for you. And with respect to natural language processing, since it is unstructured data and trying to deal with subjective kind of data, the certainty of predicting things or getting to know about the customers or getting to know about the context is less when compared to dealing with the numeric data. But yes, with the help of advanced techniques, advanced algorithms with respect to AI or NLP, we are trying to address or bridge that particular gap. So now let's take a small case study with respect to NLP itself. Now let's take for some product, there's a customer responses. So customer review for some product in a Amazon or Flipkart platform. So now we need to understand whether the customers are happy with the our customers are happy with respect to product or services which has been sold. So there are thousands or 10,000s of what I can say reviews, and it is highly difficult to read each and every sentence or each and every review and understand the customer's overall view on that particular product. So now what we do is we try to apply this natural language processing and see or try to understand what is the overall response and satisfaction level with respect to that product. So now what we do is we try to extract the data, and then that text, whatever the text data we extract, that can be called as text corpus. That is called as text corpus in NLP language. And this data is converted to numerical values, which is used to be supervised machine learning if we are trying to use that, and extract content and meaning from individual documents into the corpus. We try to get all the data and maintain one corpus, and we try to extract relations between the documents in the corpus. This is a major activity. Now within this, what all things happens? So this is the objective. Whatever the text we get, what can be the objective? Either we need to convert this into numerics and then convert, get to know what is happening over there, or get to know the meaning of the data in the corpus, or try to establish the relationship with respect to various documents. Now in the techniques, what happens? First, the moment we get the text corpus, we need to normalize it. Why we need to normalize it? We know that there are a lot of irregularities with the text. We might be having hash symbols, @ symbols, smiley symbols, smileys, and we might have capital letters, small letters, special characters, numbers. So all those stuffs can be there in the text. So now we need to normalize it. We need to clean that particular data. So for that process, we call it as text normalization. In that case, we lowercase everything, remove stop words. Mainly, it's nothing but like the, in, are. So these are all the stop words which are mostly repeating, and then which may not have that much meaning, which is not trying to give a main meaning for that particular text. And punctuations, and stemming and lemmatization. Stemming and lemmatization mainly it tries to go back to the root word. For example, shopping. So shopping, the root word for the shopping is shop. Or if you take the banking, the root word for the banking is bank, right? So it tries to remove those other forms of the word and then tries to get to the root word. That is nothing but stemming or lemmatization. Okay. And within this text normalization, we have various stages, right? So how do? We tokenize it through the tokenization process. Nothing but we're trying to convert each sentence or each paragraph into single words, to the individual words. And then we try to phrase modeling. We try to see like how many times the words are repeating, and then we count vectors. So it means like we see to what extent this tokens are repeating. What is the frequency of this this tokens. Tokens are nothing but the individual words, or sometimes we can make it as individual statements also. And TF-IDF, we use it in order to see the relevance of that particular word to the documents and with respect to other documents also. So now we can just relate in order to understand the customer's view or satisfaction level of that product. So now we're trying to remove or clean all these things and get it done through tokenization, and we see how many times the good has been repeated, how many times the bad has been repeated, and how many times whether this particular content, let's say some word, is relevant for the reviews or not. Okay, so that's how the things are done. Next is, and with these things we try to tag that data and then apply a supervised machine learning techniques. Why? Because okay, if this is the input and if this will be the output, and based on this we can go for next kind of analysis. Okay, if this is the input, whether the customer is happy or not. So that's how the taggings or labels will be. Then, for example, the review is, the product is good. It is delivered in good condition. So it's a good review. The product is bad, or it is delivered in a damaged condition. The review is bad, right? So that's how the tagging is made. And that's where the supervised machine learning technique will be applied. So whenever the fresh content, like I ordered this product and this product came in a damaged phase. So now when we just input this particular data to the system, so now the system understands, okay, this is certain keywords are there and this is a damaged one. And for this, it is termed as a bad review. Okay, so that's where. And then detect the sentence detection, like the sentence boundaries we try to detect, and then named entity extractions. For example, the president is a person, and Amazon is a organization, and let's say Bangalore is a region. So it means it tries to get to know what exactly that particular word is trying to say. So is there any information associated with this? So that process is nothing but named entity extraction. And then phrase modeling can also be applied over here in order to see the repetitions of the words, and part of speech tagging in order to see like noun phase, verb phase, the combination of it, determinants, those kind of stuffs. And also topic models and then word vectors are applied, where topic models are nothing but trying to understand what topic this particular document is trying to say, or what kind of response this particular document is trying to say, without based on number of repetitions, number of words, repetition in the, for example, if a document is talking about dogs, obviously the more number of repetitions will be there, the word dogs compared to cats. So that's where we can the machine understands, okay, this document is mostly talking about something on dogs, right? So that's how the topic modelings can happen. So with all these things, further we fed to machine learning or deep learning algorithms like neural networks and those kind of things, in order to understand what is happening with respect to response, or in order to understand the text, the context of the text, or what is it trying to say. So this NLP techniques, as you know, is applicable to various fields or domains like legal domain and contracting, the business, insurance, e-commerce, and those kind of stuff. And this is where in this stage we get the insights. Okay, so coming back to so I just wanted to give a brief overview about NLP. Why? Because this is very much important, especially in the application of AI in marketing domain. Why? Because in marketing we use a lot of subjective data along with the objective data, that is numeric data. So in the subjective data, sometimes it is difficult for us to understand what is happening or understand the context if the data is of huge. If the if you get the data in a huge amount, right? So that's where I wanted to explain this NLP. And if you see the previous techniques over here, so various techniques which are involved in various stages of marketing. So all of them are trying to use this NLP techniques itself, right? So that's where NLP plays an important role. So now, putting all these things together, there's a overall framework of how marketing automation can happen. Okay, so now if you want to now we try to get the data about the customers or the population, let's say. So based on their device transaction, based on their devices and their transactions and their transaction data and how data engagement is happening, and on-site behavioral data, and then personal and demographic related data. And all this data has been fed for a data integration stage. And for each, and after this integration, and each data has been, each person's data is given a unique ID and cross-device tracking, not to have this RDBMS and other database operations. And then we go for multi-channel and data, so not to distribute and get to know that. And then we try to segment it. So segmentation, as I explained, so in order to understand, divide the customers based on unique characteristics, based on the special characteristics, and within that group we will be having a homogeneous mix of population. And after the segmentation, we try to predict if anything needs to be done. For example, trying to display the products which are likely to be bought by the customers in an online shopping when he buys something. So with all these techniques, that's where marketing analytics comes into picture and orchestration. And this information will be placed either in the website or through direct mail or through social media platforms or through text messages or through push messaging or through emails. Okay, so that's where with these choosing the right platforms with these various techniques and with the help of data, we can choose the target audience. We can rightly target the audience or the potential audience so that the conversion rate can be more, so that to have more and more sales with respect to the products or services, to make marketing activities much more efficient. So within this, I just want to give you some comprehensive video relevant for this particular marketing activity, which tries to give better experiences for the customers.
Shopping usually involves one of two options: go to the store or buy it online. These days, more and more people are opting for the box on their doorstep, which is putting a squeeze on traditional brick and mortar retail. But when online shopping can't quite deliver, you need to go to the store. The experience can be frustrating and disappointing. Online or offline, these cannot be the only options. Well, in China, a new form of retail is taking shape that's combining the best of both online and offline retail. Alibaba, the company best known for its online marketplace, is leading the way. For them, the future isn't total domination of e-commerce. Rather, it's the complete digitization of all commerce that could be the key to saving traditional retail. The company simply refers to this as new retail. It's already helping even the most traditional retail models adapt to a new digital world in unexpected, creative ways. Why not start with the supermarket? Let's face it, no one really enjoys the process of grocery shopping. But ordering online isn't perfect either. Some things you want to pick yourself, and life can't always accommodate a delivery window. Enter Hema, Alibaba's designed-from-scratch grocery store for modern times, customized the way consumers want to shop for food. The shopping experience is powered by your mobile phone. Scan and find out what you're buying. You can buy groceries or eat in with the freshest seafood that's instantly prepared for you. And best of all, you can have your groceries and cooked seafood all delivered to you in as quickly as 30 minutes, if you're lucky enough to live within a 3-kilometer radius of Hema. That's because every Hema store doubles as a distribution center. The model is so popular in China that people are actually moving to live near Hema locations. Another traditional sales model that's getting an Alibaba new retail upgrade: buying cars, big showrooms and lots. That process was designed decades ago. It forces you to spend a lot of time going here and there, one dealer to another. Well, Alibaba is working to redesign the experience, bringing many brands of cars to the consumers to try, without the sales pressure. Behold the auto vending machine. The so-called vending machine model allows consumers to browse models on their smartphones and select the ones they want to test drive, in and out. Experience the car first, then talk to the salesperson. Even the local mom and pop convenience stores can get a new retail makeover. These stores, which are the lifeblood of many communities, probably haven't changed much since the mid-80s and aren't as convenient as they need to be for today's shoppers. Meet the Huangs, the proud owners of this convenience store in Hangzhou, China. Their store used to look like this. Now it looks like this. But the real transformation is the store has gone digital. Alibaba created a special mobile app which provides the Huangs consumer analytics of their store. They can then use the app to order the items most likely to sell directly from one source and avoid having to deal with multiple distributors. This means the shop in your neighborhood is more likely to have what you are looking for. For the ultimate new retail test, let's head to the mall. Yes, the one that everyone predicts is dying. Alibaba is up for this challenge too, and has even been investing in some of China's biggest shopping malls. You buy a pair of jeans, but it's not the right fit and your size isn't in stock. No problem. This store is fitted out with a virtual shelf. Just select the one you want. Scan with your Tmall app and have it delivered to your home. No need to stand in line at the checkout. Even a pit stop to the ladies' room can be a new retail experience. While you wait, check yourself out in the magic mirror and experiment with new makeup colors virtually. Like what you see? Buy it from vending machines and freshen up your look. From ladies' room to makeup lounge. The possibilities for new retail are endless once you erase the lines between online and offline and reimagine it based on the way consumers actually want to shop. The key to saving traditional retail is to forget about tradition altogether.
So with this, we understand how the customer experiences are made better and customizations are made based on the individual preferences, based on the segment of the customers. So to ensure the customer satisfaction and to have their retention and to make them loyal customers for our products and services or for the particular stores or the regions. Okay, so all these things were made possible with the help of analytics, I mean, with the help of AI, and especially if we observe the things which are happened in the previous video. So most of them are like, the marketing personals have been reduced there. So the marketing activities are automated and optimized based on the customer needs, right? So that's where the optimization and that's where the analytics comes into picture in order to help the marketing efforts. So here is some of the closing remarks with respect to the need of digital space and the need of having these products online with respect to marketing, and also to adopt this AI with respect to marketing. Is that the social perspective is that it says that brands will focus on the importance and appreciation of the little things instead of big things because of the present situations and because of getting to know what is happening in the present cases. So now the people are trying to look out for small things or little things rather than trying to get on big ones. And also here the brands will try to humanize their customer experience online through intimate in-feed formats. Why? Because since 2 years, all of us are in one or the other forms of lockdowns or restrictive way of mobility and those kind of stuff. So that's where the humanization of selling process comes into picture, and that's where the AI can help this activity. And brands will be more comfortable with cross-channel experiences, like using various available medias as the bridging channel between the customers and the business houses. This can be like Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, or various social media platforms or other blog media platforms. And so social perspective with respect to e-commerce is that, so brands and creators, they will use a live streaming tools to bring people more closer to the products, and online experiences will be double as entertainment. Okay, so as we got to know in the previous video, like how they're trying to make it more customized, more realistic, more live with respect to selling or marketing the products or services. And also the brands will harness the social
The recording has stopped. This meeting is being recorded.
So the they will harness the social media channels in a better way, because we got to know that the reach, especially in the East Asian nations, are less when compared to other countries. And also here the industries and the brands will increasingly be expected to premiumize the digital customer experience. So since the usage of digital networks or digital platforms and the mobile phones or devices, electronic devices are more, we need to optimize and digitize most of our marketing activities, not to reach the right not to reach the right customers with the right pricing strategies or right features with respect to products or customers. And so they will be using affordable synthetic media technologies in order to have this good digital brand experiences. And they will harness the shift to educate the customers as well as their themselves and the competitors with respect to their unique products and services and their information. And they can have that, they can be trend makers or trend setters with respect to usage of digital platforms for marketing activities. So here they will create a product lines for audiences keen to bridge the gap between their offline and online personas. So they're trying to make the online shopping experiences or online marketing aspects or activities more realistic, more lively, and making more personal, more, what I can say, customized for the customer preferences based on the categories or individual customers. So with all these things, we can ensure that all the pillars, that is the four major pillars of marketing, to be more effective and efficient, where we support and delight the customer through various techniques in order to reach the customers, and we attract the customers for our products and services, and then we win their support and their loyalty and through purchase of the products and services. And finally we engage with them in order to give a better after sales services and to retain them as customers and to spread the word with respect to their products and services to other potential customers. So that these are the various aspects which are involved with respect to AI in digital, or let's say in the marketing aspect or marketing domain. So this is all from my side. So now I'm open for questions. So please feel free to ask your questions.
Is there any questions from participants? Sir, one question from Someshri. Can artificial intelligence market reduce the decision fatigue in consumer?
Sorry, sir, can you come again?
Can artificial intelligence in marketing reduce decision fatigue in consumer?
Decision fatigue in consumer. Yes. So when will this decision fatigue happens? When we have lot of information, and when we are bombarded with so many products and services, so much of information about the product and services without understanding the customer's ability and the customer's feature. Now with our transactions and with our information which are made available to the particular server or the particular digital media, the right products are targeted to me based on my purchasing intention, based on my purchasing ability and my features and the tastes. So that's where the fatigue can be reduced. The fatigue is, the potential of fatigue can be reduced with the help of AI. Yes.
Any more questions from participants?
Yeah.
Do all the product recommendations lead to a purchase? Priyadarshini. Do all the products, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm able to see it. Do all the product recommendations
Yeah.
lead to a purchase? No. So that's where the another concept comes into picture. That is a digital marketing. So digital marketing, which says that okay, once your advertisements, once your advertisements or the content which are placed, now how the navigation happens. So for example, sometimes within that we have different categories saying that okay, just an impression, click, and then conversion and the transfer or the landing, going to a landing page. So this kind of activities can be there. So just by viewing that particular advertisement, we can't have the conversion. So or even after clicking to that link and then going to a landing page, we may not have the conversion. So but interest level is more, the filtering is more. It is now the customers are focused with respect to products or services. So that's where yes, all the recommendations will not lead to purchase, but which the potential of purchase can be increased with respect to recommendations.
From Dr. Gautam Jaiswal.
Yeah.
Can artificial intelligence be used in market basket analysis?
Market basket analysis. So I'm not that much aware about what is this market basket analysis, but if it is with respect to segmentation of the market, yes, it can be obviously used. So as we discussed in the previous slides.
I think no more questions, sir. Yeah. So thank you very much, sir, for your research-based deliberation on artificial intelligence and marketing. Some of issues you have focused on brand advertisement, that voice search, the propensity modeling, the predictive marketing and marketing automation, etc. So thank you very much from Department of Commerce, Davangere University, Davangere. So before that, now I request Professor Shashidhar give a vote of thanks to Dr. Naveen.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to everyone. It's my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks to all dignitaries assembled here for last day of the 5-day online FDP on applications of artificial intelligence in business. At the outset, I firstly, on behalf of Department of Commerce and my own behalf, I thank our resource person, Dr. Naveen B.R, sir, who honored this session with his thought-provoking and very informative deliberations on artificial intelligence in marketing. I thank you once again, sir. I hope this session enlightened the participants' knowledge in the area of artificial intelligence in marketing. With equal relevance, I express my sincere gratitude to Professor Anita H.S. Madam, Registrar Evaluation of Davangere University, and Senior Professor of our department for their active involvement in all the sessions and supported all the way the FDP.
Both in WhatsApp as well as the mail. So that link will be access exact